Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the Online Series 9 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we used a really fun Regirock Sun team, so we play a couple more games with it today. This was a tournament-winning team built by a player called Mao and used by a player called North. I've linked their Twitters down in the description below, and there's a rental and a paste for the team as well, so feel free to try out the team yourselves. If you want to really see how good Regirock can be, I would highly recommend yesterday's episode. It was just a absolute rock for us, pun intended, throughout all of yesterday. And so, yeah, Venusaur, Zapdos, also really consistent max options with this team. So looking forward to just playing a couple more games. It is a brand new rank season as well. So yeah, the ladder is reset. We're going to be climbing back from Great Ball tier, but hopefully can get back to Master Ball tier within the next couple of days. Before we get started, today's episode is sponsored by The Ridge. The Ridge makes some really awesome lifestyle products, and their most popular product is the Ridge Wallet, which you can see right here. It's a super sleek, minimalistic wallet that's able to fit up to 12 cards between these two metallic plates, and there's also a band or strap for cash here in the back. It's also super simple to use. You slide out your cards using this little indent here, pull out whatever you need, and slide back as such. The Ridge has really been my go-to wallet since getting it about a year and a half ago at this point, and I absolutely love it. But if you don't believe me, there are over 30,000 5-star reviews for the product. There's also free shipping and free returns on orders $45 or more, so you can always, get one of the wallets, try it out. If you decide you don't like it, ship it back to them and get your money back. I'm currently on their website at rich.com/VGC. By the way, you can normally use code VGC for 10% off your next order, but there's actually a Father's Day sale going on right now for 15%. I think the code is DAD15, so feel free to just use that code instead. But yeah, make sure to use my affiliate link at rich.com/VGC. And so you can see all the different kinds of wallets that they have, and comes in all kinds of different colors and materials. This one is my favorite one. It's the carbon fiber one. But yeah, tons of different wallets that you can get. And as I always say, when I talk about the Ridge, I really, really love their line of backpacks. They are honestly some of my favorite products just in general, especially their weatherproof bags. So I've linked my favorite products from them down in the description below, so feel free to go check them out. One thing to note about the wallets is that they can't fit business cards. Basically, your standard credit card is the exact size for these, so anything larger than that won't be able to fit in the wallet, so do note that. But thank you to the Ridge, as always, for supporting the channel, and yeah, let's get started. Alright, getting into our very first game of the brand new season, rocking the Regirock team, and this is a really cool team. I always really love the beginning of the season when you're playing through like Great Ball and Ultra Ball tier, just because I think there's just so many cool teams that you see throughout the time there, and as I always say, I actually typically like struggle to climb back to Master Ball tier in the first couple of games, so if that's something that you've had trouble with, don't worry, it's not just you. So, first match of the day, and there's a Naganadel, a Sableye, Kartana, Charizard, Lapras, and Kangaskhan. Alright, so what do we want to max here? We didn't max Venusaur in any of our 4 games yesterday, surprisingly. I mean, Regirock's really solid here, but it has to worry about Will-O-Wisp from Sableye, so ideally getting rid of Sableye as soon as we can is ideal. If we had Eerie Impulse on Porygon, I'd be more keen on leading it since my opponent's team is so specially oriented. This could be a decent game for Grimmsnarl Zapdos, honestly, because, like, I could just Fake Tears and max move everything with Zapdos, basically. So I think I'm down for that. And in the back, maybe we just go Torkoal Venusaur. Okay, I'm not opposed to that. I don't know, I think Regirock could be really good here, but it's mainly Kartana and Sableye that scare me. Mainly because Sableye can Will-O-Wisp. I guess Kartana doesn't do that much damage in a Regirock, so like it's maybe not the biggest threat, but I kind of want to try out this mode. We brought out Zapdos for one of the games yesterday, and it was decent. Well, like kind of close on time there. So if we see Kangaskhan and Naganadel, there's a decent chance they actually timed out. Either way, once again, thank you to North and to Mao for the team. Check out details for the team, including a rental and a paste in the description below. If you haven't seen the last episode, we had some really good games with Regirock specifically yesterday, so I would highly recommend that. And thanks to you all as always for watching. If you enjoy, please share your support by leaving a like. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks once again to the Ridge for supporting and yeah, continuing to sponsor the channel. It is King Naganadel, so I really wonder if they timed out. That being said, you could actually just go like fake out Max Ooze on a Grimmsnarl turn 1. I almost want to predict that and switch out, because Grimmsnarl gives us so much value with screens, and I don't know if we really need Venusaur in this game. Honestly, I'm kind of down to switch out Grimmsnarl into Venusaur turn 1, go for a Max, and just go for a Max Airstream here onto Naganadel. Yeah, the reason I'm okay making this play is because I think for my opponent's position, doubling up on a Grimmsnarl makes a lot of sense. Kangaskhan Naganadel is a very good lead specifically to deal with Grimmsnarl because you can just launch Fake Out onto it. We use Kangaskhan a little bit in Series 7, and the most common set is just like Fake Out Last Resort, but I've even seen like, was it Flame Orb? Something wild like that. So I'm expecting Fake Out Ooze here turn 1, we'll see. Naganadel is going to max to, it's not really super surprising. But this is fun. I remember when Naganadel came out, we used it a little bit in VGC 2018 in like my first couple of videos, and I remember I did not know how to pronounce it, so I kept calling it Barney. But it's a pretty solid mon here. We haven't seen it too much in Series 9 or 7, mainly because like it's got a unique typing. And that typing is like very hit or miss, right? It can be super good offensively, but also like pretty poor defensively. Now I actually can't hit it for super effective damage right now, so I think it shines more in this lead matchup, for example. So yep, there's Fake Out onto the Grim, which is now Venusaur. That did a lot. Here's Max Ooze. Let's see how much this does. Does it one-shot us? It does not. Okay, nice. I don't have Earth Power, which is the only downside. Like we have a speed boost here. New Life Orb? They're not Life Orb. That's interesting. Okay. I was kind of expecting Life Orb there. Oh, Max Airstream does a ton, though. Like, a double up onto Naganadel should pick up the knockout now. So, they could, of course, go for, like, Max Guard and Last Resort, but then I just get a free switch in anyway. So... Oh, wait, we do have Earth Power. What am I saying? Okay, I'm down to just double up onto Naganadel. Like, I think it's decently likely Naganadel protects in this position, but even if it does, Kangaskhan can only knock out one of 2 Pokemon. Oh, that's really interesting. They actually had Sucker Punch. I didn't even mention that just because it's been so long since I've seen Sucker Punch, but they actually chose to Sucker Punch the Zapdos instead, probably expecting Sleep Powder from Venusaur, but since, we have enough damage here. Max Airstream was almost a 2-hit KO onto Naganadel by itself, but Earth Power gets the knockout there, so nice. Okay, so I mean, obviously, we are in pretty good shape. It's been a while since I've seen Sucker Punch on Kangaskhan, quite frankly. Like, the last time I saw it was back in, like, 2015. Well, I'm sure I've gone up against some Kangaskhan since then, but, Mega Kangaskhan was obviously really good back in the day, and you'd have Fake Out, Return, / Frustration, / Double Edge, Low Kick / Power Up Punch, and then Sucker Punch typically would be the 4th attack. Although occasionally, especially in late 2015, you'd see, like, Protect or Ice Punch thrown onto movesets, so... I do think my opponent might have timed out in this game, given that, they have Lapras here. Okay, because we know they have Sucker Punch, I'm actually willing to go for a Sleep Powder in this position. Yeah, I'm going to Sleep Powder Lapras and Max Lightning Lapras. Kangaskhan isn't that big of an offensive threat to us right now. Yep, they go for Sucker Punch this time around. Nice. And so I think my opponent could have been in better shape if they... Does that one-shot? Ooh, it does. Well, this is funny because now Sleep Powder can't even put anything to sleep because of Electric Terrain, but the main thing is I wanted to cover for Lapras surviving or a potential switch out in that position, so yeah. Sleep Powder is not going to go off here, but that's fine. I mean, like, it's 2v4 right now, right? And, like, Kangaskhan's not that big of an offensive threat, especially if it's running Sucker Punch. Like, I'm curious what the normal type attack it's running is here. But we obviously have the big numbers advantage. Grimmsnarl's still healthy in the back, so yeah, Zapdos was super good here for us. And I mean, once again, that's the strength of this team. There's so much flexibility. Like, I could have maxed Venusaur, I could have maxed Regirock as well, but, one of those 3 typically will be significantly better than the other 2, and so in this game, that answer was Zapdos. So, pretty good spot for us to be in. Kangaskhan is mainly support, although Last Resort actually does a lot of damage, and as you saw, Fake Out did a lot of damage, so, like, Kangaskhan still hits decently hard, but it's not going to carry you alone. That being said, I mean, Scrappy Last Resort is pretty darn strong. Charizard's my opponent's last one. Okay, perfect. So they really don't have a great answer into Venusaur at this point. Into Zapdos. It is theoretically possible to still lose, so let's not, let's play this safe. I think the best play here is to switch Venusaur out into Grimmsnarl and Protect. Because our Zapdos is already faster at this point, right? What we don't want to do is Thunderbolt into Charizard, have Charizard Protect, and Kangaskhan actually have Last Resort, and then have it one-shot our Zapdos right now. So, switching in Grimmsnarl is, like, relatively safe. I guess there's a chance they go, like, Heat Wave and then go for a normal type attack onto the Venusaur slot. That would be a really good play on their end, but even if they go for that, we'd still be in the same position as we were last turn. And, like, I'm just trying to run through all of, like, the worst case possibilities at this point because we obviously have a significant lead right now, right? I also could have just gone, like, Sleep Powder Charizard. Thunderbolt Kangaskhan, but T-Bolt's not going to one-shot Kangaskhan, so I don't think that's worth it. By bringing out Grimmsnarl, I can just set up the screens, or I could just go for Fake Tears Thunderbolt on the Kangaskhan. So, I think this is just pretty safe. There's not much setup either of these Pokemon can do in front of us either. Huh, Scorching Sands, okay, nice. They did not go for Sucker Punch there. Okay, Charizard reveals Life Orb, and it is Last Resort. Wow, so it's Fake Out Sucker Punch Last Resort. That is interesting. But that means that the Kangaskhan does not have Protect, right? We know it's full moveset's Fake Out, Sucker Punch, Last Resort. So Fake Tears plus Thunderbolt's a guaranteed knockout onto the Kangaskhan, and then it's a 3v1. The thing that's like slightly scary here is if you're my opponent, you could go like Sucker Punch and Heat Wave onto Zapdos. Maybe that's enough to actually pick up the knockout. And then my answers in the back against Charizard are actually a little bit suspect. Like it's Torkoal and it's Venusaur. Neither of those deal super well into Charizard. Although the line of action I would probably take is bring out Torkoal, go for Fake Tears, yeah, and then Sludge Bomb plus Solar Power plus, yeah, Life Orb would KO Charizard. So even if they went Sucker Punch Heat Wave here, oh, it's Blast Burn actually, that's cool. It's enough to knock out Zapdos, nice. But that's the thing, as soon as my opponent revealed Last Resort, I knew we didn't have to worry. I didn't have to worry about a Protect, right? In an endgame, if you can confirm what has Protect and what doesn't have Protect, you're basically guaranteed the win. If you target correctly. Okay, that was a very generic statement. Sorry, that's too generic of a statement. But my point is, in this endgame, we had the numbers advantage, and the one way my opponent could come back is we kept targeting into a Protect, right? And all we had to do is kind of play around that. So I wanted to scout out for a Charizard Protect, wanted to scout out the Kangaskhan moveset as well, and that's why I pivoted Grimmsnarl in. So, Zapdos did go down, but we obviously have a free turn to attack with here since Charizard just went for an attack, so Fake Tears plus Sludge Bomb I think might be enough to pick up the knockout. Even if not, at this point, Charizard just can't beat everything quickly enough. So, yep, just go for a Fake Tears and go for a Sludge Bomb here. But Charizard actually matched up really well against like the Grimmsnarl, Venusaur, Torkoal combo that we had here in the back, so that's actually pretty scary. But I think now all we have to do is switch Venusaur out into Torkoal next turn. If Sludge Bomb doesn't pick up the KO here, because then Solar Power plus Life Orb will. But nice, Venusaur gets the knockout there. So I think my opponent might have timed out in that game. I think the 4 they ended up bringing were just their top 4. But honestly, I mean, the Kangaskhan Naganadel lead was pretty scary. This could have been a very different game too if my opponent had targeted the Sucker Punch onto Venusaur instead, because the Naganadel hung on with what literally looked like 1 HP. So like if you Sucker Punch Venusaur there, I don't knock out the Naganadel. Naganadel gets another Max Ooze off. And then the game is definitely in a trickier position. What would I do from there? I would probably bring out... Yeah, it's actually a lot trickier then. I'd probably bring out Torkoal, and then just go for Airstream onto Naganadel, Body Press, or Eruption onto the Kangaskhan. So a big question is whether or not Naganadel had Protect on its moveset. Because if it had Protect and it protected in that position and you Sucker Punch Venusaur, we'd actually be in a pretty tricky situation because another Airstream wouldn't KO Naganadel. So, yeah. I'm curious on the Naganadel item and moveset there, but either way, another great game by Zapdos. Okay, Porygon-Z. This reminds me of one of like Sejum Park's early teams in Sword and Shield. Super similar Pokemon, actually, if I remember correctly. So they don't have Fake Out. Oh, they do with Weavile, actually, never mind. Wait, why do I feel like I've seen... Oh, I think this might be Ryota's team. Ryota made a new team. And I think it featured Weakness Policy Rotom-H, if I remember correctly. With Surf on Weavile. Wait, PC is gonna be an issue for us here, isn't it? I think this is a Regirock game. So I think it's Grim, Porygon, Regirock, and Venusaur. No, not Venusaur, Torkoal. Gastrodon's really scary here, though, honestly. Yeah, I think this might be Ryota's new team. Which I know will feature on the channel at some point. Every time Ryota makes a team, it's got to be on the channel. They're just all so good. But I might be misremembering. I just remember something popped up on my timeline the other day, and it featured a Weakness Policy Rotom. I think it's this team, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, it's going to be Rotom and Weavile. This is pretty scary. I mean, I kind of expect the Surf. So I kind of want to just Light Screen Trick Room turn 1, because I don't want Fake Out here. Feels okay to me because Regirock is so good into both of these. Yeah, I'm down to just Light Screen and Trick Room. I don't think Fake Out plus a max move from Rotom one-shots Grimmsnarl. If it is the Surf thing that I was thinking of and it is Weakness Policy with Light Screen up, I don't think a +2 Max Flare KOs Porygon. If we get Trick Room up, we're in pretty good shape for the remainder of this game, especially if you commit your Dynamax turn 1 on Rotom. Could be scary here is if Rotom actually has Nasty Plot as well. Because then you could get to +4. Assuming it is Surf Weakness Policy. Alright, they're going to max, so that's good. No Nasty Plot at least. Yeah, I mean, if we get Trick Room up, we are in pretty good shape in going into the remainder of the game. Because, like, both of my opponent's Pokemon right now are so weak to Regirock. Best case would be, like, they knock out Grimmsnarl. But I don't... Well, you would knock it out if I went Light Screen and then you went Surf Max Flare onto the Grim. And they don't go for Fake Out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Surf coming our way right now. So let's see. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I think this is Ryota's team. Either way, hey, I mean, I'm fine with this. Like, if Grimmsnarl would go down, that would be fantastic. But even if not, like, I can freely knock out Weavile next turn. My opponent will already have committed 2 turns of their Dynamax to not do that much damage. And it's going to be Max Lightning onto Grimm. Okay, is that even enough to pick up the one-hit KO? It is. Okay, so this is perfect. Because I get Trick Room up. Ooh, that was a crit. That might have mattered. Although I'm fine, like, it doesn't make that much of a difference. In fact, I wanted Grimmsnarl to faint, right? So, yeah, I get Regirock in. However, I mean, if Grimmsnarl didn't faint, we'd also be in really good shape, because I could just double up onto Weavile for a KO the subsequent turn, and then Rotom would have spent 2 turns of its Dynamax just to do, like, some damage. Now I can bring in Regirock. The only downside here is that I feel committed to Dynamax Regirock immediately. Like, I'd love to get a Curse up right now, but I just don't think it's in the cards. So, like, I'm willing to just go Max Rockfall into Rotom and try attack into it. I don't think I really care about Weavile right now. I suppose Weavile could switch in a Gastrodon. You can Max Guard Rotom, but even if you did that, it's not that scary of a play. And the thing is, Gastrodon, while it does decently well into Regirock, would also have to activate a Weakness Policy at some point. So I'm curious if Tri Attack plus Rockfall is enough to just knock out Rotom outright. Even if it's not, like, it's not the... it probably isn't. Okay, they are going to switch Weavile out, so I'm expecting Gastro here, but... Oh, it's Clef. Okay, that also makes a lot of sense. Ooh, Clef makes this really interesting, actually, because you could go for Helping Hand Max Lightning next turn. I wonder if that's enough to KO the Regirock. We'll get Sandstorm up, though. Sandstorm going up is really critical in this game. However, they might have Max Guarded Rotom here, so let's see. If they did, then I, you know, could have contemplated splitting my damage or even doubling up onto the Weavile slot. Did they Max Guard? Okay, no Max Guard. So that's good. Getting Sandstorm up already is, you know, a good boost for Regirock. Like, Rotom's not that scary. And actually, yeah, without Frengar, I think Rockfall plus Tri-Attack may have been enough to pick up a KO. So, good Clef switch in there for my opponent. Hey, nice damage from Tri-Attack. Was that a crit? No, not even. Alright, and they actually go for Max Darkness to go for a special defense drop, but that doesn't work because I have Clear Body, so... Okay. Oh, although, actually, by doing that, you get a special defense drop onto Rotom, which means you could Helping Hand, like, Max Lightning it next turn. That actually makes a lot of sense. Okay. So it's their last turn of Dynamax. I'm at -1 Spadef. I could boost Rotom's special defense back up with a Max Quake. You would think Clef is forced to follow me in this position. And I don't want Rotom to get one... Well, actually, if Rotom gets one shot here, I get a free switch into Torkoal. I think here I'm willing to go for Max Quake and Try Attack. And I'll Try Attack Rotom. Well, I don't think it would KO from this range anyway with Friend Guard, right? It's not. I'm not sure. It's kind of close. Like, I think they'd survive, but then faint after Sand. Okay, I'm down to target Rotom still, though, I think, and Quake into Clef. I think Clef should follow me here, yeah. So, but I just wanted to cover for the option of Clef greeting there and going for, like, a Protect instead. So, Rotom's Max also ends after this turn, and then I think Max Quake plus Tri Attack puts the Clefairy in KO range from a Max Rockfall the subsequent turn. So, then we're in pretty good shape, right? Okay, because then I can just pick up a double knockout the subsequent turn. So, we got Tri Attack off, nice damage, no status condition. They're going to go for Flare. Yep, that's fine, onto Porygon. And while that does a lot of damage, not enough to pick up the knockout. Okay, so this next turn's interesting because Clef could obviously contemplate going for a Protect. Big question here is what my opponent's last Pokemon is. Okay, we still have, what, 2 turns of Trick Room to work with? Yes, which is good. I'm willing to Rockfall here into Rotom and Try Attack into Rotom. Reason being is because if you follow me, then I just pick up a double KO. If you Protect Rotom, then Rockfall should just KO through Protect. If you switch out, well, nothing can switch into a Rockfall plus a Try Attack. And yeah, if they go for follow me, Rockfall first goes into Clefairy, Try Attack goes into Rotom, that should be a double KO. At least I hope so. Okay. Max Rockfall. Okay, good. Nice job, Regirock. Yeah, the main thing here was just having a strong lead into the weakness policy Rotom stuff. But it helps that I, you know, have seen this team running around before, so I at least, you know, knew to anticipate weakness policy Rotom, which is what led me to lead Grim. Okay, perfect. We get a double KO. Weavile's not that scary in offensively in this late game. You're probably gonna have to fake out the Regirock. Well, see, it really comes down to what my opponent's last one is. Gastrodon, Kartana, and those are both pretty scary. I forgot the last option. Okay, so Weavile's back out. That's going to feint from any one attack from Regirock. And that is going to be Kartana. Okay. Kartana's definitely scary here, but because we have Torkoal in the endgame, I think it's fine. Like, I'm willing to just go for... Okay, this is actually still pretty scary. Yeah, Regirock... I mean, Kartana could definitely win this endgame. I'm going to Drain Punch here onto Kartana... Or, sorry, onto Weavile, and then recover as well. I mean, Regirock should survive any one attack from Kartana. Torkoal will obviously double KO these. Okay, they're going to go fake out onto Regirock. Okay, yep, that's fine. This next turn is going to be really critical. But the thing is, Kartana, even at +1 attack, shouldn't be able to knock out Torkoal. And Weavile's potential Focus Sash is now broken, right? So all I need to do is get Torkoal and click Burning Jealousy once. They're actually going to double up onto Regirock, but it's not enough for a KO. Perfect. So the reason I wanted to split my damage like that is because now my opponent's in a really awkward spot, right? You can't pick up a double knockout this next turn. You can only knock out one of two Pokemon with a double up. And as a result, I should have the game won if I just knock out Weavile, force this to be a 2v1 scenario. So, yeah, I mean, if you're my opponent, maybe you double up onto Porygon, but then I just get a Drain Punch off, KO Weavile. Does +2 Drain Punch knock out Kartana? I'm not confident on that, so I think it's better to target Weavile here. Similar to Kangaskhan in the last game, like Weavile very rarely carries Protect. So we can just click Trick Room and Drain Punch, and I think if we avoid a crit from both Pokemon, we should have the game won. Oh, not necessarily! Weavile could have Taunt! Wait, I didn't think about that. Oh. Okay, but they just go for Triple Axle. Nice. Alright, that is going to hit twice, but unless you crit Sacred Sword here on Porygon, we should get Trick Room up. Let's see, Sacred Sword. Nice. Good job, Porygon. We get Trick Room up again, Torkoal comes out, and ends the game. I think Weavile gets access to Taunt, right? I'm pretty sure. So I did not make the best play possible in that scenario. Well, even if they have Taunt, how do I cover for that? I guess it's Tri-Attacking, but Tri-Attacking doesn't feel like a super good option because it's not going to knock out the Weavile anyway. And honestly, I think Torkoal could win this 2v1 anyway, just with Burning Jealousy, because I don't think a double up from Kartana and Weavile can KO the Torkoal. So I actually think my play was still correct there, even if I were anticipating a potential taunt. Just because there's no significantly better play in that position. So yeah, I'm just going to recover. I think I clicked Burning Jealousy over Eruption, but it doesn't really matter. Both of these Pokemon are super frail. The main thing was just getting my opponent to commit their Dynamax early on and like their Dynamax not doing enough damage. So that was a really good upside for us. But yeah, this team is super interesting. Oh, they actually have Detect on Kartana. What's the item on that then? Huh. Yeah, I mean, I should have clicked Eruption, but I'm pretty sure this is also just a KO. Yeah. Weavile and Kartana are probably two of like the most frail Pokemon, especially to fire type damage here. So doesn't really matter what we go for in the end. And yeah, I just clicked recover. Like, there's not really any downside to doing so. Even if it were Sash Kartana, you just be brought down to your Sash, right? And healing means that even if, I guess you could still crit Sacred Sword, but we're so far ahead it doesn't matter, I think, what we do here in this end game. So is it Focus Sash Kartana then? They go for double Protect. What's the item on it? Because you would think Sash is on Weavile. No, it's not Sash Kartana either, but it wasn't Life Orb either, so yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna, I just want to double check, because I'm pretty sure this is Ryota's team. If not, then I've definitely seen it somewhere else as well. Like, I've seen it online at some point, that's for sure. Ryota, yeah, oh, it's White Herb Kartana, okay. Yeah, so this is Ryota's team. We'll feature it in a future episode for sure. But yeah, it's a very interesting, like, hyper-offensive team with a lot of surprises. Like, yeah, Silk Scarf, Porygon, Life Orb, Gastrodon, White Herb, Kartana. So, pretty interesting stuff there. Either way, I think, yeah, anticipating the weakness policy Rotom was critical there because we didn't, just, like, feint to it on turn 1. Grimmsnarl feinting turn 1 was perfect for us, gave us a switch in, and Regirock in general was just outstanding there. So, yeah, let's get into the third match here. Okay, this, I don't even, this is what I mean, I love Great Ball tier. This team is so cool. Machamp, Unfezant, my favorite Pokemon of all time. Inteleon, Dracozolt, Draption, and Dubwool. Oh gosh. Okay, so Dubwool's actually pretty scary because of like Cotton Guard plus like what, Body Press? I feel like Venusaur's not bad here. You can just Max Quake. Like, I haven't even gone Torkoal Venusaur yet. I just don't know what to anticipate for my opponent's team. I mean, they have a bunch of Super Luck Pokemon, so Pokemon that can crit. Yeah, I feel like we should probably just play towards Venusaur in this game. It's pretty consistent. Like, I'm down to just go Torkoal Venusaur. What do I want in the back? Porygon Regirock? Like, late game Regirock seems sweet. But Zapdos also seems pretty decent here with Grim. I could even go Grim Venusaur, low-key. Because I could just Fake Tier. Okay, Grim Venusaur, Torkoal. Porygon has Ice Beam. You know, I'm kind of down to just bring a random Regirock here. Because Regirock is still pretty bulky, even without Dynamax. And so, like, the idea here is that it can take any attack, and they would activate Policy, and then it would survive, and then get some damage off. So, yeah. But I don't know. We could have made a decent argument for everything else. It's just we haven't used Regirock in forever, right? It's the coolest Pokemon on this team, so kind of want to just bring it out. All right, they have Unfezant. Hey, you know what? Unfezant? That's not a bad answer into Venusaur because you can crit. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play around the crit. I'm going to go into Torkoal, and I'm actually going to Fake Tears. Yeah, basically I'm going to set up Venusaur because my opponent should commit their max early on, so that if I get their max out of the way, then Venusaur can come back up. But hey, this is a really good lead by my opponent, honestly. Zapdos would have just won this, like I feel like, but I didn't feel great about leading Zapdos into a Zolt. I don't know. Grim Zapdos is fine, though, because I can just Reflect and max. So I probably should have gone that route. But yeah, this is interesting because, I mean, it's probably, what, G-Max Machamp, so you get the guaranteed crits, which is actually super interesting. I have the Koba Berry on Venusaur, but like I think Venusaur just absolutely demolishes in the late game, so I'm just gonna get them to max early. You know, stall out the 3 turns. Once I get a once I get a Fake Tears onto Unfezant, then Venusaur should just knock it out. And yeah, like I tried Gigantamax Machamp when it first came out. We did it on Road to Ranked, and like the team was really fun, but it's just not consistent. Like, I don't know, it just feels bad, especially because like you're giving up Max Knuckle, which is so strong as well, right? So, yep, it is going to be G-Max Machamp. And Pheasant is going to go for... Oh! It goes for Taunt of all attacks. Wow, I didn't expect that. That's interesting. Okay. And Max Lightning, anticipating a Sleep Powder turn 1. Very cool. Alright. It's a nice turn 1 by my opponent for sure. Okay. Well, it's interesting here, because if it were normal Machamp, you could boost your attack, but it's not normal Machamp. I'm down to just Burning Jealousy here. I don't think I need screens that badly here, so I'm down to just Spirit Break into Machamp. Actually, it's probably better to target Unfezant here, just because of the risk of the Tailwind as well. Wow. So it's a support Unfezant. I was just expecting, like, crit Unfezant. Very cool. Alright, there's G-Max G-Strike. Okay, targets Torkoal. But yeah, Burning Jealousy. Wait, does Burning Jealousy still burn here because of the increased crit? I've actually never seen this interaction before, so I have no idea. Also, man, Machamp, it just straight up took 40% from a Spirit Break from Grimmsnarl. It's not Weakness Policy. Okay, good. Get Burning Jealousy off. It's Sash Unfezant. Very cool. Okay, no, so you don't get the burn. Got it. Got it. All right, well, we got a lot of damage off there, more than I expected. Okay, so Unfezant can crit here. Okay, it's probably best to just protect here, right? Man, I did not expect Focus Sash on Pheasant, though. Protect, and I'm almost down to switch out into Regirock. Nah, I think we can just give up Grim. You know, the other question is, what's your offensive attack on Unfezant? Because if it's Brave Bird, you'll need Feign from Recoil. It's dual Wing Beat. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Actually does not manage to pick up the knockout there. Did they double up? No, they didn't. Okay. Well, this works. I think Spirit Break just KOs here, honestly. Yeah, I mean, this is just the downside of Machamp, right? Like, it just doesn't do enough damage, and the side effect you get from the G-Max G-Strike, unfortunately, is just not that strong. And you give up a potential Max Knuckle. Machamp just doesn't do enough. I don't know, like, I don't think many people have explored, like, weakness policy Machamp, so maybe that would be it. But then with, like, some crit Pokemon in the back, but either way, tough to really fully utilize it. But this team definitely, you know, does its best. Okay, so let's just double check the state of everything. I mean, it's pretty... I could just easily sacrifice both of these, but I'm also down to protect Torkoal here. Oh, no, I just protected it, right? Yeah. Should I switch out? Nah, I don't think we really need to, right? We can honestly max either Pokemon in the back at this point. Yeah, let's just get Regirock in and sweep with Regirock, I think. So I'm down to just Burning Jealousy here and Spirit Break with the expectation both of my Pokemon faint. If they don't, then the game's certainly over. But we're gonna go for Night Slash onto Torkoal. No crit, unfortunately. Oh, that was a crit. Still wasn't that much damage. And Fell Stinger. Okay, well, a lot of cool animations here, but you can see, like, yeah, even with the crits, the Pokemon, like, are getting the crits, just don't really do that much. And, while Fell Stinger is scary, we have Burning Jealousy here. And we already revealed that, but, yeah, that's probably the only play they could really go for anyway. So, yeah. As much as I love Unfezant, I think we've used both Unfezant and Draption. Well, I don't know if we use Unfezant in Road to Ranked, but I did in the WBE. Okay, let's just bring out Regirock. Actually, Venusaur is the correct Pokemon objectively to bring out first, because I'll outspeed, but yeah, I don't think it really makes much of a difference, quite frankly. Okay. Wait, actually it might. Wait, it actually could matter. Yeah, we should definitely max Venusaur, right? Yeah, I botched that. I was thinking it didn't make much of a difference, but the scary thing here is Dracozolt could have obviously Bolt Beak and just one-shot Regirock. So much to the point where I honestly don't want to max Regirock as a result. I'm going to just go Stomping Tantrum, force this to be a 2v1. But if I just read out Venusaur, we could obviously max Quake, so that was actually a slight misplay. Still fine, I think, but... low kick. It's a lot of damage. That's because it's a crit. I didn't even know Dracozolt got access to low kick, to be honest. And they knock off, yeah. I mean, the trouble, like, the main tricky thing here for my opponent is that they had just split their damage pretty much the entirety of the game, right? Like, they can never consistently just target one slot. And so, and one thing I've been doing in the last couple of games is just eliminating, like, and forcing it to be a 2v1 in the end game, because I know that my opponent, you know, I have enough resources where one Pokemon can handle both of my opponent's Pokemon. So, yep. I'm just going to switch Torkoal. Oh, no, I don't... Is there any way you could, like, Earthquake double crit, maybe? Or actually, you wouldn't need a double crit. I do think it's correct to switch Torkoal out into Venusaur here, because you're never one-shotting the Venusaur, and if you were, Stomping Tantrum's just going to KO your Dracozolt. Like, the only way you one-shot Venusaur is if you, like, Dragon Claw or Aerial Ace crit on the switch-in, and if that were to be the case, then I would just KO the Dracozolt. But yeah, they're just going to go for another low kick, that's fine. Regirock feints, bring in Torkoal, max Venusaur, we're good. But I misplayed this game because I should have just brought out Venusaur initially rather than Regirock because, yeah, Regirock... I mean, I probably was fine maxing Regirock, to be honest, but I really didn't want to take Bolt Beak from Dracozolt. And Sun was also expiring, so if I just brought Venusaur out first, I would have just been able to one-shot Draption, switch Torkoal out, and that would have, like, guaranteed the win. Either way, I think we're still good here, but... yeah, we could just max Quick Earth Power here. There's no way Dracozolt can knock out both Pokemon in one attack, even if... And in this case, like, you want to assume the worst case, which is what, Weakness Policy Dracozolt, but at best you'd Aerial Ace or Earthquake, but crit Earthquake, even from +2, I don't think knocks out Venu, and Venu, 2 Max Quakes will definitely knock out the Zolt. Curious on the item on the Dracozolt, like Assault Vest would actually make a lot of sense. It's not Life Orb. It could be White Herb. Those are the only items that I think make, like, a ton of sense here. So, let's see. Max Quake. And that just one-shots Dracozolt. Nice. Cool. Well, I gotta say, this was definitely one of the coolest G-Max Machamp teams I've seen. And I think G-Max Machamp, quite frankly, is really, really hard to execute properly. And you could see how my opponent's team is designed to, at least enable it. So certainly commend my opponent for trying to build a team around G-Max Machamp, because I don't know, having tried it, it just like is super underwhelming, unfortunately. Fun Pokemon, but it's not very consistent at the end of the day. But, oh, we can check their team, okay. So it is AV Machamp, okay. Sash Unfezant, yeah, this Unfezant set, super, super interesting. Adrenaline Orb Inteleon with Soak and Mud Shot. It was Weakness Policy Dracozolt, that's what I was saying. Gotta be afraid of the policy. Scope Lens Drapion. And then Agwa Dubwool. Really, really cool team. Wow, okay. Yeah, I mean, that once again, I always love playing through the beginning of the season just because you get to see wild stuff like that. But as always, you should never underestimate any Pokemon, any team. And teams like that always scare me more just because like I don't fully know what's coming my way. So we'll take it. But either way, once again, the consistency of this team really shining through. As you can see, multiple max options. We've, at this point, Max Venusaur, Regirock, and the Zapdos, and Porygon's actually a pretty solid max option with this team as well. So let's get into our final match of the day. All right, I feel like this is fitting because this is the ranked #1 team that we had featured for the first episode of the last season and the start of Series 9. So, what was it? Policy, Nasty Plot, Moltres, AV, Metagross. Support Spectrier, very bulky. Oh, I don't remember if the Grimmsnarl had Fake Out or not. Because if it doesn't, then it's pretty free for us to lead Grim, but I think it did, if I remember correctly. What do I want to do here? I'm not sure. Grim Meta is pretty scary as a lead from my opponent's end. Grim Meta. I don't know, like, I kind of want to play towards Regirock. They also have Spectrier, which can Will-O-Wisp, which scares me a bit. Okay, I think I'm going to go Grim, Zapdos, Venusaur, Torkoal. But I don't know if Grimmsnarl is really great here, to be honest, because my opponent is going to have... First of all, they have Clear Body on Metagross, and they're Dark-type with Moltres. So the two main max threats I can actually fake Tears. I think screen support is still valuable though. But I don't know. I think you could play this game completely differently and go like Porygon Regirock instead. So it's gonna be Grim Sylveon. Okay, I think I'm okay with. Am I okay with this? Sylveon has Yawn and Hyper Voice. Maybe I'm not okay with this. Could just fake out Hyper Voice turn 1. I don't want to max now because of the fear of Yawn. I think I'm down to go into Torkoal though. This is not a bad position for Torkoal. Like, go into Torkoal and protect turn 1 seems okay to me. Because my opponent's not going to have any offense with 2 Fairy types against Torkoal in turn 2. It's funny, like, I've gone up against teams we've used before so often, but I always forget, like, the specific sets. And I think the Grim had Protect here, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it was, like, max HP, max defense Sylveon with Yawn. Alright, they just set up Light Screen. That's fine, though. Because what else could I have done there? Light Screen, you know, Fake Tears, maybe. Yeah, they Yawn into Zapdos. Great. Okay, perfect. Because now, hey, like, I have Torkoal out, right? And yeah, you have Light Screen up, but I still get a free Eruption off in this position, which is pretty sweet. Grimmsnarl's not going to have Protect. I think I'm down to just Thunderbolt the Grim and Eruption in this position. Free damage. I was considering Heat Waving because, like, I could maybe see a switch. Okay, no Protect, no switches, no Protects. I already said that. Okay, that's fine with me. Yeah, they're going to Yawn Zapdos. But, like, that's okay, right? Because, like, I can just pivot Zapdos out this next turn. Spirit Break Torkoal, presumably. Yep. So, like, Eruption's not going to do nearly as much as you normally anticipated to because Light Screen is up and at -1 special defense. But this is still an Eruption in Sun, right? I would think at least, like, 30-40% to both of these. Yeah. Pretty good bulk, though, honestly, from Grim there. It's kind of awkward, but I think I have to... Well, I mean, Zapdos and a Venusaur is a pretty safe switch, actually. Yeah, never mind. I think we just make that play. And I'm down to Eruption again. So here's the thing. I almost don't want to knock out Grim because then I get... Well, the question is then, did you yawn Zapdos in this position? But I'm almost willing to just go for a Burning Jealousy here intentionally to survive because it stalls out my opponent's light screen. And I don't necessarily want to just give them a free switch in here, especially if they're going to just keep clicking yawn with the Sylveon. Alright, they just click Hyper Voice. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, Hyper Voice, Spirit Break, like, I'll take that. No problem. See if they targeted the Venu on the switch in. Nope, they just target Torkoal again. Okay, great. Great. So this is interesting, because I can max Venu now, and max Ooze. Oh, although, you know, the downside of maxing Venu is it's still kind of awkward. Like, I don't necessarily want to do that, because Sylveon has Yawn. I don't want to get hit by a Yawn, obviously. So I think here I'm willing to switch Torkoal out into my Grimmsnarl. Go for a Sludge Bomb. Is it? No. I think it's better to go out into Zapdos here, actually. Yeah. Did I just double switch? Oh, I switched the wrong thing. Wait, what? What did I do with Torkoal? Oh, I did double switch. Oops. That was not what I was intending to do, but that's fine. Oh, they actually T-Wave and Yawn. That's pretty interesting. Thunder Wave and Yawn into the same slot to cover for a switch. I like that. I like that a lot. Last turn of Sun. I'm drowsy. I honestly completely forgot about T-Wave on this thing as well, so I'm glad to see that. Man, I really shouldn't let Zapdos fall asleep, right? Especially because it's just so good against everything in the back. Like, I think we just switch Zapdos now into Torkoal. Maybe it's time to finally start getting some screens up. Okay. I'm a light screen here. Switch out into Torkoal. This is definitely an interesting match because I'm forced to play pretty defensively because all these yawns make me not want to max, right? But yeah, T-Wave Yawn into the same slot's pretty interesting, but that makes sense because you cover for every switch out, basically. Okay, so we got light screen up. Nice. Oh, interesting. Okay, so they're going for T-Wave to cover for the switch out option because you're expecting me to switch out into Venu potentially here and then probably Hyper Voice. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. But we take that pretty well. Okay. Now, one thing to consider is we do want the sunlight to be up, right? For the late game. 3 turns of light screen left. It's light screen, T-Wave, Spirit Break, Reflect. That was the moveset, right? Okay. Do I even care about Reflect going up? No, but I don't want them to get another light screen up. That's the main thing. So here I think I'm down to just Reflect and Burning Jealousy in this position. Yeah. The Sylveon's actually really strong, though. I feel like when I used this team in the beginning of the season, I didn't realize just how much of a nuisance it could be. Because if you lead Grim Sylveon, it's just so difficult to KO if you don't lead with, like, if you don't have, super effective steel type damage. Okay, this is a smart switch, because now they can Fini? Oh, so they go out into Moltres. Ooh, this is smart, because now you can start nasty plotting with that. Like, you could easily nasty plot this next turn. Okay, I got a Hyper Voice off. It's scary because they're weakness policy as well. Alright, that was a really good turn by them to get, like, Moltres in the way they did. I mean, I could Spirit Break Moltres here. It's just that I can ramp up really quickly if you Nasty Plot as well, but I have Zapdos, right? So, like, what am I really that afraid of? Okay, I'm down to Spirit Break Moltres here and switch Torkoal out into Zapdos. The problem here is that you could easily read into the Zapdos switch and then yawn it. And then things become very interesting. But I really like how my opponents played this game. Yeah, so there's Nasty Plot. So it gets a +3 attack, but like that, if Sylveon did not yawn into Zapdos this turn, it's still fine, because I can just max Zapdos. And max Zapdos does really... Oh, wow. That is so much damage. Well, it's scary now because I'm activating Berserk as well, but I think all we have to do is switch Zapdos out. We could even sack both Torkoal and Grimmsnarl and then just play towards the Zapdos Venusaur endgame. And they didn't yawn. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think we're fine. Nice. Great. The main thing here was just punishing Moltres, right? Like, yeah, this Grimmsnarl has actually been so good damage-wise today. I've been very impressed by it. Very pleasantly surprised. We're max speed Zapdos here, right? Yeah, 167. Sick. I think it's Venusaur. Torkoal's too slow. The only question is whether or not Sludge Bomb KOs from this range. Pretty easy to just Dynamax Zapdos, Max Lightning, Sludge Bomb. If I'm my opponent, what am I doing? I'm protecting Moltres here. Or they could make like the Hail Mary play. I just don't want Zapdos to get hit by a Yawn. So I actually think the play is to not max the Zapdos here. And just T-Bolt. Yeah, I'm kind of down to max. Go for Ooze here and a T-Bolt here. This covers all my bases, basically, I think. Oh my... Wait, are they just attacking with Moltres? If they survive a Thunderbolt, this is really bad. I would do this to Max Guard, personally, and Yawn. So that's what I'm expecting here. And if they went for that play, I think we should win. But I'm not sure. This is why I didn't want to max Zapdos, though, right? Because if they just Max Guard and Yawn, things get a little bit dicey going into the next turn. And I am pretty weak again. Like, if their last one's Metagross, which we should assume right now, I actually don't have great answers into it. Especially because, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Assault Vest. But I think Thunderbolt should KO Moltres from this range, even with Light Screen being up. So I'm expecting Max Guard. No Max Guard. Oh, it survives! Wow. We were lucky enough to get the para, but I didn't double up onto it, so like... I'm probably still getting hit by a Max Airstream onto Venusaur. That was... Wow. That was a really bold play to not Max Guard and to just attack, but my opponent read perfectly into my play. And they yawned into the Venusaur. Wow. And Max Darkness into Zapdos. So if I just Max Zapdos, went Lightning into Moltres, and Sludge Bomb on a Sylveon, we'd be good. Maybe that was just a play. I thought Thunderbolt would KO Moltres, but yeah, the Moltres is actually just bulkier. Now you can Max Guard as well. Wow. That was, did not play out the way I expected it to, but kudos to my opponent. Because I thought we were in pretty good shape, honestly, once we had Zapdos and Venusaur next to each other. So, Max Lightning was the play in that position. Okay, if I Max Lightning, they Max Guard and you Yawn, you'd still have to get a double Protect off. So I think it was just a Max Lightning into Moltres. Like, I probably could have just gone with the safest play, because they just, like, read into my soul with that one. Now, I gotta evaluate what the worst case scenario is with Max Lightning there. I thought it was fine, but obviously it wasn't. You would think Moltres needs to Protect here, right? We were lucky enough to get a para, so I guess we hope for the full para right now. Or I Vine Lash if they're Max Guarding. No. I should have targeted Moltres here because they shouldn't Max Guard. You should anticipate me. Oh, but they Vine. Okay, good. Nice. Because now I get Vine Lash damage off in this late game. And I have a +1 Venu. So, okay. I was thinking if you were on my opponent's shoes, maybe you don't Max Guard. I don't know if the Moltres feigns from Vine Lash damage here. It's really close. But either way, that's exactly what I needed this turn. I think it does. Okay, good. That was such a good... Okay, in the end, I'm glad that played out like how it should have. As in, like, my opponent didn't get full para either time. And, like, we were lucky enough to even get the Thunderbolt para. So, yeah. But this is still scary, right? Like, Venusaur's asleep now. What is their last one? Fini, Spectrier. I think it's got to be Metagross. It's got to be, yeah. Well, this is going to be a close one. Yeah, it comes down to how fast Venusaur wakes up, basically. Okay. I protect Torkoal here always. Yeah. Just because, like, there's I don't know. I mean, actually, Venusaur's guaranteed to take its first turn of sleep. That was such a... Like, my opponent made the one play that kept them into the game. So, like, that was really, really well done. Maxing and then yawning into the Venu. I go for Light Screen, that's fine. I mean, I would think Metagross has to target Torkoal here. But if they make the hard read and target Venu, like, maybe my opponent's like... Okay, they go for Rock Slide. Yeah, that makes sense. So the upside for us is that we get 3 turns of Vine Lash damage onto the Metagross. That's a ton of damage, right? That's literally 50% of its health. But they have Light Screen up and they have AV, so I don't think Earth Power is going to be a... It's going to be a 2-hit KO, I think. They could also miss at this point. Honestly, I kind of favor my opponent's position more than mine right now. I don't even know if Rock Slide KOs Torkoal from the range that we're at, TBH. But it could get a full... Oh, we have Reflect up. Wait, I forgot about that. Oh, good on me for getting screens up. I think in this position, as much well, Sleep Powder would just win us the game if we hit. But 2 Earth Power should knock out Metagross, right? Well, I'm actually not sure about that. Okay, you know what? I'm willing to Sleep Powder here and go for a Burning Jealousy. I honestly think we survive Rock Slide on Torkoal, so they're going for Para Flinch, which is fair. Okay, so we take another turn to sleep on Venusaur, and they're going to Stomping this time. Yep. Ooh, what a roller coaster of emotions. Survive with 1 just to... There's so much RNG involved right now because it's like Venusaur has to roll for sleep, Torkoal has to roll for para, potential flinch, all the good stuff here. I'm just going to Earth Power and Burning Jealousy here. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's not overrush things. Metagross here can Ice Punch Venusaur, but we have Reflect up, so I'm pretty sure we'd survive an Ice Punch anyway. Yeah, I don't think I need to be worried about Ice Punch. I think just going for Earth Power and Protect here is fine. So let's see if Venu wakes up. If Venu wakes up, I think we should be good, but this is its 3rd turn of sleep, so if not this turn... Okay, nice. Gets to wake up. Sweet. I don't know. I guess I'd lose the Ice Punch crit here, so maybe I should have just attacked with Torkoal, but I think they Rock Slide, yeah. Well, Clutch on Torkoal to survive. I don't know if Venusaur could have won this endgame for us. It would have been really close if Torkoal did not hang on with 1 HP there. But this was a wild game, right? Because it felt like I put myself in a really good position after the Spirit Break turn onto Moltres. But my opponent found the one play to basically keep them in this game. So kudos to them. Yeah, it was just a really brilliant max darkness. It was critical there, though, right? Because, like, in the end, they didn't Airstream into Venusaur. If they actually Airstreamed into Venusaur and Yawn into Zapdos, I actually would have just hard lost the game from there. So, yeah. Like, we're lucky to come out with the win here. But now that I'm thinking... Okay, so, basically what I'm saying is perhaps I should have maxed Zapdos. But you know why, like, maxing Zapdos doesn't necessarily work? Like, if you're in my opponent's shoes, you could actually sack the Moltres, Yawn into Zapdos, bring out Metagross, and then play towards late-game Metagross. And then that's pretty scary, like, Dynamaxing Metagross instead. So it's like, it's not like Max Lightning was objectively the 100% right play, I think. I don't know, though. Yeah, I really don't know. Because, actually, the other thing is I would have just hard lost the game if my opponent just max Airstreamed into Venusaur that turn. So perhaps I did need to max Lightning just to cover my bases there. Or max Airstream, Sludge Bomb. I don't like that too much. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe I didn't need to be that worried about Metagross because I still had enough tools in the back. But I don't know. Like, it's easy to... Like, I think I had to cover... Like, we got lucky that turn because I didn't get one shot on Venusaur. So I had to cover... Yeah, I guess I had to max Lightning Moltres just because that... I didn't think about the worst case. And the worst case was, yeah, them surviving and then Airstreaming Venu, which I maxed to just lose my Dynamax instantly. So I think I in retrospect, should have just maxed Zapdos. But the end game then would still be pretty awkward, especially if my opponent didn't max the Moltres, because then you've set yourself up for a really good sweep with late game max Metagross. So yeah, I mean that team was the ranked #1 team from the last time in like what in January, I think, basically the last time we had Series 7 before we switched to Series 8 on the ranked rule set. So both of these teams incredibly consistent. If you're looking for teams to climb with, I'd honestly recommend both of these just because there's so much consistency to them and they're just overall really, really well constructed. And yeah, a lot of viable strategies between them. So that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you so much as always for watching. Thank you to Ridge once again for supporting today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. All right, peace.